Welcome back to some of the best stories from r/Tales from Tech Support. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's take a look at the first story. It's called PettyRevenge. This incident happened just a couple of hours ago. I went out for a lunch break and decided to go to our large store to grab some water. It was rush hour, so there were queues everywhere. While I was in line, there was a woman in front of me who kept trying to find a shorter queue to get through faster. She was fidgeting, constantly running in and out of line, and immediately returning to her spot, even elbowing me a few times. At one point, I had enough, so I politely told her that if she left the line again, I wouldn't let her back in. In response, she angrily snapped at me with a loud, "Your turn hasn't come yet, so don't waste my time and keep quiet." Not exactly the way I expected our conversation to go. I looked around and noticed that some items on the counter nearby had stickers, with sensors that set off the detectors if you tried to carry them out. Usually, the cashier peels these off, but I suddenly had a simple but funny idea. I picked up one of the items, carefully peeled off a sticker, and quietly placed it on the floor at this woman's feet. Naturally, she stepped on it without even noticing. Her turn came. She paid for her items, and of course the alarms went off as she tried to leave. By the time I paid for my own purchases and walked out, I saw her arguing and shouting at the guards gathered around her. But those were no longer my problems. The next story is called Stinky Revenge. This story is about a guy I know who's rather, well, unique. To give you an idea of his personality, here's a story from his younger years. When he was 15, he and his girlfriend went on a vacation to his mother's home country and stayed with his grandmother. One night they went out and partied, and our guy got really drunk. He ended up accidentally making quite a mess in his bed. The next morning his grandmother came in, understandably upset. Without missing a beat, our guy blamed the whole thing on his girlfriend. She didn't speak the language, so she just smiled and nodded along, completely unaware of what was going on. She didn't find out the truth until 5 years later. Years later, he was working as a telemarketer, but ended up getting let go. He didn't take it too well. He worked his 2 weeks, but on his last day, he had a plan. He went to the restroom, took down the mirror, placed it on the floor, did his business, then put the mirror back up. He washed his hands, finished his last few hours, and left. 6 months later, he ran into a former co-worker and asked about it. Apparently, the company spent weeks trying to figure out the source of a lingering smell. They even called in plumbers and specialist cleaners, but just couldn't pinpoint the issue. The last story is called Instant Shame. I have this neighbor who's a bit of a character. She's kind of a princess type and owns a personal training business. She's polite enough to me, but she's had a fair share of arguments with others around the neighborhood. Yesterday evening, I was driving out of our neighborhood. It's typically a quiet time, and no one usually in a rush for anything urgent. I was just heading out to meet some friends. Now, I avoid turning right on red at this one intersection. You can see around the corner well. People drive like maniacs here, and there's often a kid on an e-bike blasting through. I nearly got hit once trying to turn on red, so now I just wait for the green light to be safe. Well, my neighbor pulls up behind me and starts honking while the light is still red. She's furiously gesturing for me to go, but I just turn and shake my head. No, this set her off. She starts yelling, really laying on the horn. As luck would have it, 2 other neighbors happened to be passing by on foot and saw the whole thing. I leaned out the window and called, "Hey, can you make her stop honking at me?" They were more than happy to step in. She'd had run-ins with them before too, so they didn't mind joining the fun. One gave her a playful taunt, while the other called out, "Where's the fire?" It was all pretty light-hearted, which made her anger look even more over the top. When the light turned green, I might have lingered just a little bit longer to keep her fuming. She was so embarrassed by Dan that she stayed a good distance behind me the rest of the way. It was a small thing, but it definitely made my day a bit more entertaining. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.